From the YBA Phoenix Fitness 24/7 basketball facility in Rockland, California, it's Coach's Rise time with Coach C.Collins.
It's start 3, 2, 1.
Coach's Rise time.
Yep, welcome to Coach's Rise time, where we talk a little bit of basketball, life commentary, a few things in between. Obviously, I'm your host, Coach C.Collins. If you made it to my channel, welcome. If you feel like, please subscribe. Again, I'm just trying to get to my small goal of 300 subs. I'm almost there. It's a small goal, but it's my goal. Do the HBO special, help a brother out. Shout out to the Poor Man's Podcast. This is relevant because I am going to do a little bit of reaction to him. But I kind of wanted to talk about in this one, today's topic, I wanted to talk about, so just a little insight. And I think it all just segues together. Obviously, mainly what I talk about associates with basketball. It could be coaching tips. It could be life tips. I delve a little bit into the black pill community, the red pill community, the blue pill community, because I listen to a lot of podcasts. I absorb a lot of information. And for those who know me, I'm very much an analytics guy, whether it be as a coach on the basketball court or honestly in everyday life. Analytics are a proven thing. I know. Seems like nowadays we want to pretend like data doesn't matter, and it's all about how you feel and your interpretation, and there's my truth and my reality, and these are all nice terms, but there is objective reality out there. There is things we have to acknowledge and agree on, and that has to be the common ground. And even nowadays, that's all subjective. Overall, the consensus was the world was round. And, of course, you got your flat earthers. And then, there's people who think I have an autistic daughter, and people think the vaccines give kids autism, and vaccines don't do that. So, and again, it goes on and on. Reality is very funny right now. We're all plugged into the matrix in one way, shape, or form. But I try to use my channel to just talk a little bit of insight, give my opinion, have fun with things. So a buddy of mine, there's a YouTuber I watch. He's a part of the Black Pill community. I believe he's the most popular YouTube channel in the Black Pill community. If you're not sure what that is, I think I'm going to tag him in the line so you can go check his channel out. He does full descriptions on all three of the pill communities. Overall, these are just men spaces communicating about men things in different perspectives. Just take my word for it on that. So this guy's name is Waffles. That's his YouTube name. Not his real name, obviously. Or, could be interesting. Maybe his name's Wheat and Waffle. Either way, I find him very fascinating. He uses analytics and a lot of mathematics, geometry to really break down what attraction is. And I'll speak about where I'm coming from with all this. So with basketball players, athletes in general, but obviously mainly I'm speaking for basketball players in my experience, they're on kind of a unique side of things. And I coach and mentor the young men. So a lot of times I end up becoming a lot of a lifestyle coach as well, especially as younger men get older. Let's just be real. These young men get horny, especially by teenage years, college years. Hormones is kicking in, testosterone kicking in. They want girlfriends. They like the ladies. And as a mentor, you try to hold them on the right path and, say, hey, look, if you're going to do your thing, use protection, be smart, you always want to mentor these guys to be better than you, right? What I will say is I've overall had a lot of good success with that, and I've found that with the youth, they are listening, even when it seems like they're not, and even for me, sometimes I think they're not, but they actually are. So that's pretty cool to see. What I want to segue that into is, so my friend went to Wheat Waffles. At the end of all of his episodes, if you turn in some photos, if you pay him, I think it's like $20, $25 or whatever. If you pay him, and you send him some photos of you and tell him your height, your weight, your build, things like that, he will do an analysis of what you look like. I watched some other people's YouTube channels who did the same thing. My friend did this without me knowing it, so that's why I thought it was really funny. And I wanted to talk about it because he analyzed me. And I find, and again, I like this guy because he uses analytics and numbers and shapes to describe, like he has the perfect ratio of what the perfect attractive face is and things like that. And you can't, numbers don't lie, right? You can't argue with numbers. 1 + 1 will always be 2, right? Well, I don't know, unless you're in your feelings and 1 + 1 = cat. I don't know, but other than that, I like that. And so I'm going to tell you guys what he did in my review. I looked at other reviews. He does do some copy paste, some cookie cutter, where I would say he said it to one guy, so he says it to another, says it to another. But I imagine he's probably getting hit up pretty heavily. Regardless if someone's attractive, sometimes you're just fascinated. You're just curious what the outside world perceives, right? Because we all have our own self-perception of what we think we look like and how good we look. I mean, honestly, if you look at Fresh and Fit podcast, there's so many 9s and 10s on that show. You think there's no average people in Miami, and maybe that's just how it is. I don't know. I haven't hung out in Miami like that in about a decade, so I don't know. But what I did like was, I want to speak from the place of an athlete. So for some of you guys who may know or may not know, I'm 6'5", about 205, 210, somewhere around there. I think I'm in fairly good shape. I wish I worked out more, but I work very physical jobs. I live a very active lifestyle. I still play basketball, so things like that. I'm mixed, right? Mexican, black and white. Grew up in Oakland, right? So, just to me, I'm just your overall run-of-the-mill, typical light-skinned athlete, right? I'm not too much blaringly unique about me. But I was pretty fascinated at his response, so I kind of wanted to show you guys and read to you what it is. Now, I recommend, if you really want to know, if you're curious, like, do it yourself. Like, I'll tag him in the post. I'll probably connect the link to one of his episodes, but I suggest you guys check him out. He's actually very insightful dude. I like, again, that he's using numbers and analytics to describe things, so that was pretty cool. So just so you guys understand, with him, he does a 1 to 10 scale. Nobody's a 10, nobody's a 9, right? Like he says, 9s are like these overly attractive people that have such a blaring high level quality. For example, like Jeremy Meeks with his crystal blue eyes, or I guess you could say like Michael Ealy or something like that. Like they just have something that puts them over the top, right? Like Denzel Washington and with his smile or something, something like that. Pause, no homo, but still, just saying things like that. That he would put in that 9 category, but overall there is no 9s. He votes basically 8 and down. If you are 5'6", 4, 5, 6, that's pretty average. If you're 7 or 8, that's really attractive. What he classifies as chads, that's the new term. We're all using chads. And then obviously sub 4 and below is, people that are unattractive, right? And I know we want to say attraction's in the eye of the beholder and things like that, but I think we all fundamentally understand what's attractive, what's not. And we all know, I believe men and women, especially men, all relatively know where we at on this scale. But I wanted to say my experience with getting reviewed by Wheat Waffles, and I wanted to tell you guys what it is. And, tell me what you think. Leave comments below. Maybe you might find it fascinating or funny. I find it funny for myself because a lot of my friends have often told me that I'm a fairly attractive dude, and I'm not one that's like big fixated on my looks. I just try to take care of myself as best I can, and mainly I take care of myself. So I tore an Achilles years ago. I couldn't walk for a couple years, and I have kids, so I really just want to be healthy for my kids, and also I have epilepsy. So I was born with epilepsy. So that kind of was a disability I had to learn to maneuver around as well. So I wanted to give you guys the rundown. So let me give you just the straight up number he gave me. Well, you tell me what you think. Maybe you can leave a comment and tell me what you think before I gave you this number. But overall, he says I'm a 7 out of 10. So not bad. Pretty good on the scale. Obviously, like I said, his max is 8. So I guess I'm 1 notch away from being Wheat Waffles max, right? So shout out to you, man. Appreciate you for saying I'm a decent looking guy. So here's the rundown of what he is. I also pull a picture up. I have my producer pull a picture up of the main picture he said he liked, because we sent several, and you guys can interpret from there, right? So he said my best features, right? He said equal face thirds, straight mandible, good facial definition, and low body fat percentage. So cool, thanks. I try. I'm happy about where I'm at. He said good hair thickness and texture, good hairline. So that's cool. Especially, I'm 39 years old, so I'm glad I still got hair at this point. Clear skin. He said he really liked my skin, so cool. Ideal lip thickness. Pause. I don't know how I feel about a man talking about my lip thickness, but thanks. Good eyebrow shape and a thick neck. Don't know how I feel about that one either. Thick neck. Thick neck. Do I have a thick neck? Man, you guys are looking at me on camera. Does my neck, I don't feel like it, whatever. All right, I don't feel like it's anything special. But he also said these are the worst features in order of importance. He said jawline isn't forward grown enough. Okay. Short ramus. Not 1,000% sure what a ramus is, but it's not an anus. I know that. It can't be that. He didn't look at my anus. I hope he didn't, unless there was a photo of it. You better know. It better not be no damn photo of it. But he said a short ramus. You guys can help me figure out what that is. He says slight facial asymmetry, particularly the nose, which makes sense because if you really, really look, my nose is crooked because I used to box, and I had it broken like 2 or 3 times. I actually got it broken in a street fight again at 24 Hour Fitness years ago. So, yeah, it's just part of my past. And then he said incomplete eyebrows. So it could be because of the slit right here, but who knows? I don't know. Large eye orbits, low set cheekbones. So I guess my cheeks aren't high enough. Then he gets into more details. He says, he basically says, here, he said, these last 2 flaws are slightly causing eye bags beneath your eyes. Chin is not forwardly projected enough. And then he said, these are my short-term looks-making recommendations. 1, said your style looks very good. You clearly know how to dress well. No changes need to be made there. Alternatively, style-wise, because your build looks a good shape, you could wear tighter-fitting clothes that wrap around in complementing ways. Muscle fit works best usually for, your body type. So, cool. Thanks. He's like, haircut is good. It suits your skull shape, so keep the same. It looks best in this picture, by the way. And this is when I had shorter hair with curls and stuff. But I obviously have braids now, but cool. Said, I previously rated another guy who was similar to you. He also lacked chin projection and grew a goatee to give the illusion of a more pronounced chin. I don't know. Maybe that's what this is. I don't know. I think you should follow suit in order to give the illusion of a more pronounced and forwardly grown chin. He said, usually I'd write 7 to 8 points, but I honestly don't have any more advice for you. Seems you've done most of it already. Well done. Keep it up. So, cool. Shout out to him. He said, you're a good-looking guy, top 15% of what I've rated so far. You don't need to worry about any extreme measures. I can see all 3 environments working for you, warm, cold, and online. And that's the different approaches, in case people are wondering, like online approach, cold approach is straight up to the person. Warm approach might be like, maybe Instagram or familiar circles or something like that. He said, I'd give all 3 a go. Best of luck to you, man. He said, you're definitely one of the more attractive people I've rated so far. You should have no problem getting a girlfriend. As I say, you're in the top 15% of attractiveness. I'd be extremely surprised if you're a virgin. And that, overall, that's good stuff. I think it's funny. Shout out to you, Waffles. Obviously it's kind of fun to see different people's objective views. If you don't care, don't care. Like, I'm going to think of myself either way. I don't really, again, fixate on my looks. I try to take care of myself, and I just work hard, and I try to take care of myself mainly for my kids. That's what the main purpose of it all is. What I will say, and what I'm circling back and correlating, that's just the kind of the funny side of it, laughing at myself. But athletes and guys who have this relative level of success, let's be real. Women typically on a general sense, I'm saying on a general, so please, ladies, I'm not saying it uniquely to you, on a general sense, there's the 3 6s they want. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, because he's, rest in peace, he's the guy who kind of put words to a lot of this. This and Rolo Tomasi, right? They want, 6 figures, 6 feet, 6-pack, right? That's typically what women are looking for. There's a biological ineptitude where women like taller, stronger guys because it biologically triggered to them protection, right? Protection, safety, things like that. Now, obviously, we're living in a modern, hopefully progressive, more time where we're not as barbaric, where we need to procreate to protect the bigger tribe and things like that. But, those genetic traits are still there. Those genetic markers are still there. There's a reason hoopers get a lot of play. I mean, you look at the Brittany Renner situation and, how she's kind of going through it, unfortunately, as far as ever being potentially dated seriously. Women can get mad all they want. I'm mainly talking to a lot of NBA players. The NBA literally had to even issue out a statement saying to NBA players, watch who you're sleeping with, wear protection, get rid of your condoms, because women will try to take your seed in order to get pregnant, in order to try to secure a bag off you. I think Brittany Renner recently released she's getting $2,500 a month. And I saw some people in the comments, which was really fascinating. They were saying that's the poverty line, or that's not enough, $2,500 enough, that's not enough. Dude, that's I believe roughly $30K a year. The average wage of a man is somewhere between, I think, 40 to 50K a year. So she's working almost the minimum, the full-time wage of the average man for just having a kid. And that's it, not working or anything. And so you throw that 30,000 in, hopefully she's working in some capacity. And then that's at least let's just roughly say a 40K right there. So she's getting 70K a year. And again, people might say, well, she's raising a child. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I have kids, and I can roughly tell you even my kids don't cost $2,500 a piece a month. That's just not the cost. Basketball players, athletes, but again, I'm biased, so I'm going to speak to basketball players. You need to be careful out there. You need to, especially if you are an attractive athlete. Athletes obviously have just a natural attraction to them because you would perceive them as alpha males. They're doing their sport. They're in their prime. There's personality perks and traits that you expect come with athletes. So they typically are on the higher percentage of the attractive spectrum, especially in basketball players, because the biggest universal thing that women have universally said, read the studies, I'm not making this stuff up, I'm just not going to delve into all those studies, they typically like height. Basketball players tend to be tall. So even if they're not good looking in the face, or they are, that's typically what women like. They want taller guys. So, and the thing, unfortunately, now is unfortunate for men in those positions, but unfortunate for like average guys or, the normal blue collar guy. I work at UPS, so I work around a lot of just, good brothers just working their butts off for their families, or, just working for their future like these younger men. But man, I've talked to them and they're having a tough time. Women won't give them a chance. They don't exist. They're invisible. That's why the Andrew Tates, that's why the Fresh and Fits, Abba and Preach, like that's why these podcasts, Chess Pearly things, she advocates for men. Like that's why they're thriving right now. That's why the manosphere is thriving. I'm not part of any community, but I do see it from the lens of the athlete side, of the 6'5" guy who can see that, women want to get at a guy like me and won't give any of these normal guys a chance. So, I'm going to delve into this one more. Maybe I'll do a part 2. I'm going to do Poor Man's Podcast. I'm probably going to do a reaction video to him at some point. But no, this is just something I kind of wanted to get off my chest and talk about. I thought the Wheat Waffles thing was pretty funny. That's just kind of laughing at that whole result. But I really think, athletes, protect yourself out there. You can be a target, especially if you have a future. And I guess my message to the ladies, if any ladies would ever watch this or send this, you know, you do have to understand most basketball players, especially NBA ones that you guys like, young NBA players, you're not going to get them to yourselves. I know that's an uncomfortable truth. They're millionaires. They can do what they want unless you're their day one. They're not going to be monogamous to you. And you have to be willing to ask yourself, are you going to accept that? It doesn't mean you have to know about everything, but it's just very unlikely that they're just only going to sleep with you. It's kind of just an unspoken rule, right? That they follow the 3 unspoken rules and it's cool, right? That's no STDs, no outside pregnancies, and no public shaming. If you follow those 3 things, it's just, you just know, but you don't know, right? They're on the road. For the brothers who are actually monogamous and do their thing, more power to you. Like, hey, you're above and beyond. Like, because most men in your position, young 20-something-year-olds, millionaires, that's pretty hard for them to do. But for you guys that actually do it, because you are out there in the league and at the pro levels and stuff, more power to you, man. So I mainly want to obviously speak to my youth guys and things like that as well. Protect yourselves, wear condoms, be smart out there. You know, I did a whole show where I said, personally, I don't think young athletes should be having couples anyway. I think you should date. I think you should have people in your corner. You can have situationships, but you don't need a full-on girlfriend or boyfriend, because if you're dedicated to your time and craft, if you're the red pill overall basically is saying chase your craft, women are the byproduct. Chase your money, chase your passion, women are the byproduct. Blue pill basically is saying do what you do for women, like do it to make them the shining example. And the black pill community basically is saying the numbers don't lie. No matter what you do, no matter what you want to try to change, there's some things you can shift, but overall the numbers are the numbers, and there's not much you can do, let's say out of reconstruction plastic surgery, that you can do out of that. I'm not an advocate for either one. I'm more or less just an advocate for protect yourself, be smart, learn from your mistakes, and grow each and every day. And that's what I preach to my kids. That's why I overall just did this episode. But, you know, leave your comments, tell me what you think, and, you know, we'll see if it is something that arises or invokes something out of other people. But overall, that's just. But with that being said, you reached the end of the episode. No, it's a little longer one, but this was just something I thought that was funny. People, protect yourselves, right? This is just, again, my quick thoughts. You know, please leave a like and subscribe. Do that HBO special, help a brother out. Waffles, shout out to you again. Poor Man's Podcast. I want to leave a link to you because I'm a big fan of yours. Maybe one day I would love for us to do a collab, but I'm small right now. I'm a small podcast, but help me boost those subscribers up. Maybe we'll go from there. I'm going to do some reaction videos to Drifty J. Also, keep an eye out. I'm going to start doing AAU street interviews. I'm in AAU gyms all the time. I'm doing these tournaments all the time. I'm going to take some microphones. I want to talk to some AAU parents. I want to talk to some AAU coaches. I want to talk to some AAU refs about some of the insanity and stuff we see. And I want people's opinions right there on the spot. You know, I'm gonna do some hot takes. I'm gonna do maybe some controversial statements, but I want people to give me their lens of things. I want people to give me their perspective, because I'm fascinated by this social climate we're in, and I'm just curious on what people's takes are. So please keep an eye out for that as well. Again, everybody be safe. I'm out.
Please like and subscribe for my dad to get him more subscribers. And thank you, and I appreciate it.